What's good? It's your boy Fannon. Let's talk this boxing this morning. What's good, Chris Ruffin? How you feeling this morning? This morning, man, I want to talk about what's going on for the rest of the year. Get you guys' thoughts on what you think about the year so far, and is there any chance that this shit's going to be saved? Because, man, I think that the main thing the most significant thing that's happened in 2018 is the things that did not happen. But we got some good fights coming up this weekend, man, and we definitely got a good one coming this weekend with Daniel Jacobs and Devin and Sergey Deverenchenko, Regis Prograis, and Terry Flanagan out of New Orleans. Going to be taking place in New Orleans. We've got, of course, in December, we've got Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. And, but I don't know if that's enough to make up for a year, man, that has just been really, really lackluster, man. Really a lot of conversations going on about what fights have not happened. All right, dang, I got all the comments popped up at one time. What's going on, man? All right. General Squirrels, what's going on, man? The Evolution, what's going on, man? Justin March, man, I see you down there in the super chat, man. Appreciate it, man. You are definitely showing the love, man, these days. I appreciate that, man. Michael James, MP4 Viz, what's going on? Harold Jones, what's going on? Brian S., Frank Sparty. Man, I'm good, Benjamin. How are you? What's going on? Muhammad is one. Life is good, man. I can't complain about anything, man. I'm going to tell you, I made a find yesterday, man. I found something yesterday. Mister, what's going on, man? Check Hook, what's going on? Don Banks, Thomas Moreland, what's going on? Eddie Jones, the African sci-fi scholar, what's going on? Chyler Childs, yes, sir. That 402 down north, checking in. Hey, man, is that where I think it's D-Lo 404, okay? And I think 404, where's 404 is New Orleans, right? I mean, not New Orleans, Atlanta. What's going on, Zoe Life 83? Like I said, Justin March, my man, salute to you as well. Mark Bennett, what's going on? Sir Douglas, we got Fred Thompson. Yes, he said, Jermaine Nelson said, I can't wait for Jacobs Deverenchenko. I can't either, man. I am excited about that fight, man. And I usually get too excited about Daniel Jacobs fights. But, man, this is a fight that is happening that I don't know who the winner is going to be. I got a breakdown video. I haven't done a breakdown video in a while, man. So I dusted off my film watching skills, and I watched these dudes fights last night, man. And I got a breakdown video coming out after this. So check it out, man. Let me know if you think I'm nuts or whatever. But I'm looking forward to this, man. This ain't one of these fights where you just know what's going to happen, man. What's going on, boxing and barbecue? Good morning. So how much do you think they paying Charles step aside money for Canelo? I don't know, man. They'd have to pay him a chunk of money to make him step aside, man. But as of right now, the question is, is Gennady Golovkin going to pay step aside money? I'm interested in see what's going to happen with where Gennady Golovkin is going to land. It's tight times for Gennady Golovkin. He's going to have to fight somebody. He doesn't have a $33 million fight deal saving his neck. So we'll see what happens with him, man. But I think the next fight for Jamal Charlo is supposed to be Gennady Golovkin. But we'll see if he gets that, man. What's going on, Blackham TV and Almighty Law? What's good? Patrick Penishot, what's going on, man? Benjamin Nelson, good, my dude. Can you come help me chase my 2-year-old around? I'm already worn out. Nah, man, I can't help you. I got a dang dog I got to check around all day. Yeah, Chris Robin, 504 is New Orleans. I was thinking 404. I think 404 is I know 404 is Atlanta. GGG scared of Charlo. He ain't fighting him ever. Nah, man, he's not going to. These cats are going to try to milk it. But watch, man, MP4 Viz, much love in the super chat. He said, keep doing what you're doing. Jacobs versus Deverenchenko will be an exciting one. Like you said, it's a 50-50 fight. I don't even know myself. Nah, man. See, I'll put it a little differently. I might have it like 70, like 55-45, or even maybe 60-40, man, because of the fact that it's in New York, and I'm always expecting jankiness in boxing. I always expect some jankiness. What's going on, No Ordinary Rob? Ordinary Darkness, my man, what's going on? Frank Sparty said, what's going on, Frank Sparty? Said, I think the fallout from HBO going down has channels paying big money for big name fighters, and now they want to protect their investments and keep the big names out of dangerous fights. Yeah, man, this is a problem, man. This is going to be a problem for, God, man, I was thinking about this. What's going on, Chris Ruffin? Elias Navarro, what's going on, man? And Mr. Lord, what's going on? Look, man, this is the problem I'm going to have, man. I like the drama of boxing. Like, I'm reading this book called An Interest, what is it? A Damn Fine Story, right? It's a book called A Damn Fine Story, and it's the art of writing, and well, it's the art of storytelling. And it talks about, like tension, how to create tension or suspense, mystery, all those type of things, man. So when I'm listening to this book, they talk about games, right? Board games, but I started thinking about sport. And I'm thinking, like, where is the suspense? Where's the suspense in boxing? The suspense in boxing happens when you have two evenly matched fighters against each other that you care about, right? You can have two easily matched boxers who you don't care about and low skill fighters that you don't care about. And the fact that there's a close fight and, they're throwing punches and all that stuff, constantly, it doesn't make that, it's not that big a deal to me because I don't really care about the fighters. And what a promoter does is, one of the things that I think promoters do, and they do well, is they get you connected to a fighter and they get you to care about what happens with the fighter. But when that's all they do, the only thing that you get is care. It's like when you start really caring about a fighter, you don't want to see him in harm's way. And I think that that's what we're getting when these promoters are overselling these fighters like Anthony Joshua. I don't care what people say. There's a lot of people that don't want to see Anthony Joshua lose. And they would rather see, and they just want to see Anthony Joshua win. It's like they protecting their favorite character in a novel. Like, you just don't want to see the guy hurt. You don't want to see the writer put the guy in any trouble whatsoever. So in that case, it seems like it's getting transferred to the to the promoter, where you don't want these guys to have any issues, right? It's like, and there's no suspense in it. There's no, like, I watch these fights. I watched the fight with Demetrius Andrade versus Walter. I'm gonna kill his name, man. The guy from Namibia. And my whole thought was the whole time is like, I know what's going to happen. The question is whether or not will Demetrius Andrade be able to catch him and knock him out. But I never felt like Demetrius Andrade was in any danger of losing. I didn't think that Walter was in any danger of winning. And there was literally no suspense to the fight whatsoever. But I'm sitting there about to fall asleep. Versus when you have like a fight, even like fights that people used to say were boring, right? Like Floyd Mayweather Jr. when he fought Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people thought that shit was like, oh, it was boring. In retrospect, it was boring, right? But during the fight, it wasn't boring because they were sitting on the edge of their seats, wondering whether or not every punch Manny Pacquiao threw was going to land and knock out Floyd Mayweather. But you only get that type of suspense in a fight where you really, where both people really care about the fight, and there's some perception that somebody can be in some danger. But we just not getting that. Now, I'm borderline getting it with Daniel Jacobs and Deverenchenko, because here I'm thinking, okay, well, depending on who wins, who's going to be the IBF champ? Will that IBF champ, if it's Deverenchenko, the PBC will have the IBF champion. If not, Matchroom will have the IBF champion, and that means that since Matchroom has the IBF champion, then they'll have two of the champions in 160. Golden Boy will have another, and Golden Boy will have the other. And so, what does that mean? For unification in the belt? But it's not really like, oh man, this is some super great fight, man. Anybody can get knocked out at any time type of thing. But I'll take it for what it is. That is what I'm looking for, though, in the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight, though. Yeah, anyway, man, I'm sorry I went off on that a little bit, man. But yeah, Walter had heart. He did, man. He had a lot of heart. He just didn't have a lot of skill, and he didn't have a chance. He had skill, but he didn't have a chance. That was that dude's. It's the first time that guy had ever been on a stage like that. I think that's the first time a dude fought off the African continent. He's in against a guy that is a highly skilled dude who has multiple, who can fight you in multiple ways. In his home, basically not in his hometown, but in his home area. It was just it. You knew what was going to happen, man. And I don't think anybody woke up surprised that somebody won. And this is where I'm like, when is the last fight where people woke up and was like, damn, I can't believe that dude lost that fight. Oh, dang, I can't believe that dude won that fight. When was the last time boxing gave us that payback? You know what I mean? That type of, like, for all the energy, for all the talk that we do about boxing, when was last time that we really got that type of feeling in a fight, in a major fight? Hall Report said Rob Brandt versus Ryota Murata was an awesome fight. I didn't get to see that. I got to check that out. Thanks for reminding me that it happened, man. For now, Walter should take advice from Aga. You talking about the African heavyweight? I mean, he just needs more. He sees an older dude. He got some experience now. I think they need better trainers, man. That's the second time Sunshine Tobias out of Namibia, out of that gym in Namibia came and brought somebody to get their behind whooped in the US, man. But Namibia, I'm hopeful for those guys, man, because the more champions they have, sooner or later they'll come up with somebody else. Like, who was the last dude? Was it Simon? What's the cat's name out of Namibia? The one that got that, what I thought was a gift decision against Winky Wright. Was it not Henry Simon? What's the cat's name out of Namibia? Maybe Mungia. Oh, Mungia Ali a few months ago. Yeah, I could agree with that. I agree with that. Alexander Wilson said Magdaleno versus Dogbo was a shocker to me. It wasn't a shocker to me. The only thing that shocked me about Magdaleno Dogbo was that other people were shocked. I was like, man, and I was listening to the commentary, like, why do they think Magdaleno's going to get out of this fight? I thought that, I had seen Dogbo fight a couple times. So, that's might be why I was feeling that way. And I was never really big on Jesse Magdaleno. Thought Jesse Magdaleno was a marginal champion, a marginal fighter. And that, Dogbo was somebody got a lot of power. He's very aggressive. So I kind of figured that. Now, Mungia Ali, I hadn't watched Jaime Mungia before that. But when they walked into the ring, I was shocked. I was shocked at how they looked when they got in the ring. That threw me off 100%, man. Ali got screwed. Yeah, he got set up to lose, which is making me feel funny about, man, that Canelo. Now, somebody hit on this in Black Fight Fan TV hit on it in Trill Boxing Talk, man. But I'm telling you, that's what I said, and I said this a couple days ago too. Canelo Alvarez is fighting a huge dude, man. That is a gigantic size disadvantage that he's in, man. A gigantic size disadvantage that he's in. I don't understand why a dude that's 5'8", whatever he's listed at, 5'7", 5'8". Why in the world would you sign up to fight a guy that's that big just to get that championship? And it's on a cold promotion, dog. Hey, man, I think that shit might turn out like it's got a chance to turn out like Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Sturm. Like, people didn't see that shit happening. You know what I mean? What's going on, Brown on Boxing? Like, that could be Canelo Alvarez's Felix Sturm, man. Because it's got a lot of makings for issues, man. It's got a lot of makings for issues. Number one, he's coming off of 2 fights that he was hyped up to fight. And he's going into a fight against a guy that there's no way that this dude can really respect. And he's going against a guy with a mask, going into a fight that you're going to have a hard time getting up for. Chavez Jr. was 6'2". Chavez Jr. sucked. And Chavez Jr. was fighting at 160. And Chavez Jr. sucks. Chavez Jr. is a dead man trying to make it to 160. Chavez Jr. And I'm not saying it would have been a different fight, but Chavez Jr. probably shouldn't have been fighting anything less than 168 pounds. Did you see how drained? Now, if he was fighting this guy, Rocky Fielding, down at 160 pounds, but he was drained at 164. Dude was super drained. He looked like a dead man. Technically 164 ain't 164 is not 168. But I see what you're saying, man. But he looked super drained. Chavez Jr. threw that fight. I don't know, man. He didn't throw any punches. I know that. He looked terrible in that fight. That was a con job, man. That whole fight was a con job. Because I ain't seen anything on Fielding. I haven't really seen him either. I'll go watch him, man. The dude is just really big, man. That's the thing. Yeah, he's just so much bigger. He's just so much more. He's just so much bigger than Canelo that really could be, that really could be the issue, man. Yeah, for me is the gigantic. It's the gigantic size difference, man, between the two guys. But we'll see what's going on, man, with that. Chavez was drained, not fixed. Yeah, man, dude looked terrible, man. The dude looked absolutely terrible, man. What's good, Lawrence Williams? How you feeling, man? Young Merv, the cut man in the building. What's going on, man? What's going on, man? Facts, autocorrect did play me. I'm sorry, what happened with that? Say, yeah, I'm hip. Chavez sucked. I was just trying to compare fights, Yeah. Chavez sucks. Now, if Rocky Fielding just sucks like that, then yeah, hey man, I weigh 200. I weigh well over 200 pounds, and I'm 6'2", and Canelo could beat me. You know what I mean? The question is that the situation? You know what I mean? and we'll see, man. We'll see what happened with that, man. So, but who do y'all got, man? Let me see if somebody's off on me, man. Let's do a little poll here, man. Hit one if you got Daniel Jacobs, and two if you think Deverenchenko can win the fight. Let me know who y'all think, man, because I got Daniel Jacobs winning it. I got it by decision. But let me know what you think. Lawrence Williams said, "Oh, I'm surprised that Canelo will step in against the Southpaw. Is Rocky Fielding a Southpaw? Oh my goodness. Hey man, if he's a Southpaw, then the screw is definitely. Hold on. I'm trying to tell you, man, you got to be careful with these clowns, man. There ain't nothing better that Eddie Hearn would like better. Now he's orthodox. Rocky Fielding, he's listed as orthodox. Okay. But they got him at 6 foot. They don't have his height or reach on here or anything, man. But he lost one fight to Callum Smith 2 years ago. Tyron Zerg isn't a bad fighter, is he? But we'll see, man. I got to go check. I got to check. I do like Callum Smith a lot, though. But that dude bangs. Hey, Alexander Wilson said Canelo's opening as a 1,200 favorite over Fielding. Hey man, put some money on it, man. If it's that, I'll put $100 on it. I'll lose $100 to that. Shit, I'll put $100 on that one. Boxing fans, do your research. Yeah, no, Rocky is not a southpaw. Yeah, man, but I don't think that's what he said, man. And people, hey, Lawrence Williams, I think sometimes you need to take a break on people, man. Not everybody's like, there's like a million fighters, man. To remember who was who and what hand they were fighting with, man. It's not everybody's forte. Tito Carlisle, what's going on, man? Salute to you as well. Alex Santos says Canelo ain't messing with Callum Smith. No, man, Canelo can't beat any of those girls up there, man. I mean, dude, he's not beating Caleb Plant. I mean, I can tell you dudes at 168 pounds he ain't beating that don't have belts. I don't think Canelo Alvarez is beating what's my man's name? Who's got the twin brother, the guy that was supposed to fight Callum Smith. But Callum Smith pulled out because the fight was going to be in Detroit. Durrell, not Andre Durrell. What's the brother's name? Andre Durrell's Anthony Durrell. I don't think that the dude would have a hard time with Anthony Durrell, man. You know what I mean? I got one person responded to my deal. Yeah, Durrell. Canelo ain't messing. Yeah, Anthony Durrell. Yeah, I don't see him beating Anthony Durrell. 168 pounds, man. Those dudes are like shrunk down light heavyweights. And Canelo's stretching it. Canelo really is stretching it at 160. Canelo's stretching it at 160. He's a stocky little dude, but eventually, man, that length is going to have an issue. But the one thing about him, man, is that the cat can really stand right there and make you miss. So if that's the case, I mean, that's the one thing that the guy can do that would serve him well against a tall, slow dude that tries to jab him up. You know what I mean? Oh, Kid Chocolate. I'd like to see Canelo Kid Chocolate. I want to see more of Kid Chocolate, man. After he got knocked out against your boy, man, he really ain't been Peter Quillen. I really ain't seen him do too much. I know he had a knockout in his last fight, but I wasn't able to see it. Santos said, do we even know if Canelo has power at 168? I think I know. I don't think he does have tremendous power. I don't think he has a tremendous power at 160. I think he's got big power against smaller guys at 154 and 156. But I think this boxing ability is what's paying the bills for him at 160. 168 is definitely going to have to be his boxing ability, which he has a lot of. MP4 Vid said, I hope Canelo doesn't have the same situation like B-Hop versus Smith, where Smith surprised B-Hop and knocked him out the ring for good. Yeah. Hey, man. And this is the thing, man. Some of these dudes will set you up. You know what I mean? Especially if you're desperate. Because I think there's some desperation. There was some desperation to Canelo signing with DAZN, right? Because where were they going to? Where was Oscar De La Hoya going to take him, right? Take him to ESPN or take him to? He was leaving ESPN, so he didn't really have ESPN as an option, I don't think, because I think that ESPN Golden Boy was fighting on ESPN, and their fights weren't doing real well. At least this is my understanding. So to have him go to DAZN, man, he had to go to. Well, he went to DAZN because HBO shut down. They would have never left. They would have never left him. Yeah, but he would have had to go back to Showtime, back to working with Al Heyman, and I think he's still got that lawsuit out there against Al Heyman. What's going on, Lewis Adamson, and my man Derek Marcel? What's going on, man? King Diesel said, "Fannon, my Midwest brother, what up? Check out my song, bro. Will do. Did you send it to me? Remind me, man, because I got a couple of cats, man. I got a couple of cats. I still got to get my man Tilo Carlisle shit up on the video and Ali Voso. So let me know, man, because I'm definitely gonna do it, man. I found something this weekend though. They got me happy, dog. Fannon, I'm sorry. Yeah, what's going on, actual Angel Santos, man? What's going on, Angel, out there in New York City? Fannon, do you see Maul chasing Canelo to 168? I think Jermall Charlo is going to have to go to 168 eventually, regardless, because he's really big. That dude is really big, man. Like, I have no clue how that dude was making 154 pounds, man. I mean, that dude must have been, living on, pickles and coconut juice or something, man, for that dude to be living, for him to be making 154 as long as he did, man. And at 160, he still looks big. So 168, I think at the end of the day, man, that's probably going to wind up where he winds up being, man. But chasing him isn't going to do him any good, man. He'd be better if he chases him to 168, dude. There's a bunch of cats that can at 168 pounds that Canelo Alvarez, man, that Canelo Alvarez is going to run from. I mean, that doesn't really can't beat. So it's just tough. There's a lot of dudes at 168. You know what I mean? I think if he can make the weight, if he's looking for a Canelo fight, he should stay at 160. He should stay at 160 and hope the dude comes down. But here's the thing. I don't even know if he should even be chasing and worrying about Canelo, because Canelo's not a pay-per-view fighter anymore. You know what I mean? Canelo's not a pay-per-view fighter. There's no upside to fighting Canelo anymore. Unless there's something about the deal that I don't understand, and which is highly likely because I don't have it in front of me. I've not read it. But what is the chances of somebody wanting to fight Canelo because they get a fixed fee, right? Because that's what they're going to get. Canelo Alvarez is getting $33 million for the fight. There is no you get 15% or 20% of the fight. Canelo Alvarez is going to make that $33 million, and whoever else is going to get whatever else they get. You know what I mean? Because it's on a subscription network. So it's almost like I don't even really know what the incentive is to fight Canelo or to chase Canelo. You know what I mean? It's like Canelo, it works for both from what I can see. Just the incentives that I see. The reasons why people might want to get a Canelo fight is so that they can make more money. So they can make more money. Yeah, the belt is an issue, but shoot, he can get a belt up off of Danny Jacobs. You know what I'm saying? He can get a belt up off Daniel Jacobs. And he might get more money for fighting Daniel Jacobs because Canelo Alvarez ain't sucking up all the money for the fight. You know what I mean? So if Canelo's getting $33 million for the fight, and the guy that he's fighting, you know know Rocky Fielding isn't getting any more than $1 million for that fight, right? So all the money goes to Canelo. But if you fight Daniel Jacobs, you might be able to fight Daniel Jacobs, and Daniel Jacobs gets $4 million, and you get $4 million. You know what I mean? So it's just like, what's going on, Dante Watkins? Much love in the super chat, man. We will definitely make it work, man. Much love for that, man. Thank you. Yeah, so I don't even see. I think it would be better for him to build his own name and fight the other guys that are going to fight him. Having Canelo leave pay-per-view almost frees him from having to chase that dude down. You know what I mean? Because Canelo doesn't, from what I can see, it doesn't seem like Canelo has a lot of incentive to fight tough fights because he's got to get 11 fights in. You know, he's got 5 years, 2 fights a year, and dude, he cannot get through the type of fights that I would like to see him fight, right? Fight Jermall Charlo, then fight Deverenchenko, or fight Demetrius Andrade, or fight Gennady Golovkin, right? Or fight, you know, who the hell else is 160? Or Jermell Charlo when he moves up, or Hurd when he moves up. You know, it's just a lot of, it's tough. Oh, Tito Carlisle said Mexico is behind Jaime Munguia now. Yeah, I'm wondering where's Jaime Munguia fighting? Is Jaime Munguia going to be on DAZN? I've not heard anything about Jaime Munguia and where they're going to move, whether they're going to move Jaime Munguia, if Jaime Munguia is going to be fighting on DAZN. But I mean, even in that situation, I mean, dude, the thing Jaime Munguia needs fights, man. That dude is, hey, like Rock Williams said, that dude is green as grass, dude. Oh, said he's fighting on ESPN. Oh, somebody else said, yep, on DAZN. I don't know which one he's fighting on, but that dude is green as grass. And Mexico can get behind him, dog, but if he moves to 160, he's going to get beat. I know Jaime Munguia is Golden Boy, but I don't know if Golden Boy took all their fighters. I don't know if Golden Boy took all the fighters over there or not. It would seem like they would, but I don't know if he is. Oh, he is. You know what? You're right. He is. I did see that. He's on the card with Rocky Fielding. But are they going to pub him up? It'll be interesting to see. But Jaime Munguia is crazy. He's crazy green, man. I'm telling you, that's a loss waiting to happen, dog. Tito Carlisle said he's not with Golden Boy. I think he is on that card, though. I'm pretty sure that I saw him on that card. Alexander Wilson said, reading ESPN. What's going on, Alexander Wilson? Man, I appreciate how you support the channel, man. Said, reading ESPN's story on Canelo DAZN, and they said that if DAZN reaches specific subscription benchmarks, Canelo gets more money than the original. Yeah, that's true, but that doesn't affect the other fighter. Unless you're saying that they're going to pay Canelo, they're going to pay the other fighter more money to help Canelo's ratings out so they can pay Canelo more money. I don't know. But that seems like, yeah, Canelo Alvarez, if Canelo Alvarez gets more people, that could be an incentive for him to fight better fights. But damn, he's $33 million. You know what I'm saying? He's at $33 million. He's got to make it 11 fights. You know, if I'm advising him, I'm like, nah, man, we ain't fighting. We got 33 fights. We got 11 fights or 10 fights. Is it 10 or 11? Whatever it is. I heard 11. I've heard 10. I can't recall what the ESPN article said or what other different articles said. But my understanding is basically it's a 2-year. It's this fight plus 5 years of 2 fights a year. In order to make all that money, you got to keep winning. Or you have to have it written down so tight that even if you lose, they keep, they have to give you that money, and which in that case means that the network isn't incentivized to put him in there with tough fighters. He's gonna wind up fighting a bunch of UK fighters, man. It's like actually we could go to like the British Commonwealth. Let me see if I can find this. What's the British? Oh no, he's he can't fight the Commonwealth champions. He's got to do the WBC rankings, right? So they'll probably pay some cats to get into the rankings, because you know how these dudes work with these rankings. It's like, okay, we want him to fight this dude next, so let's get him a ranking. They paid a fee, and all of a sudden, dog, you get man, I need the actual WBC rankings, because if Lawrence Williams corrects me one more damn time, I respect Lawrence Williams on a ranking. I'm going to do my extra 2 steps and go to the WBC rankings. This is actually Boxing Live, so let me go to WBC.com. WBCboxing.com. And look at the rankings and see who this dude can fight for the WBC. Because he's also going to have the mandatory. So, yeah, he's going to have a mandatory a year by the WBC, right? Because the WBC rules say that you got to fight a mandatory every year, unless they give you a pass for doing it. So the WBC mandatory, which they're probably going to wind up giving him a pass because it's Charlo. But they could go to purse bid, which could screw stuff up if they allowed him to do that. But let's just see who's in the WBC rankings. The official WBC rankings for I don't need champions. I need the rankings. Man, why don't I have the rankings? I need the rankings. I don't need the champions. Oh, man, it sucks. I want to see the rankings. It's just not showing. Man, I got to figure out these. Sometimes this stuff is real funny. So let's go down to middleweight and see if I hit it. David Benavidez, dude. I really hope this dude ain't. Oh, cool. My daughter got 100% on a big college prep thing, whatever that is. Yeah, I don't see where this says it, man. I guess I got to look for that shit later. Forgive me. But anyway, we'll see who's ranked by those dudes, man. Oh, man, Ohio Runs Boxing. Much love, man. It says my Ohio boy, Don King, need to come back and fix this. Yeah, absolutely, man. And I'm not even cheering for these cats to make more money now because it's going crazy. It's going crazy. When you got guys that can make $30 million a fight, they don't have to fight anybody. As long as they fight on my network, I'll give you $33 million a fight, guaranteed. That's what led HBO into the hole. Because HBO was giving guaranteeing cats money, right? And they would wind up saying, like, oh, I got a 6-fight deal. And I don't want to fight anybody because I'm gonna fight this deal out. And if I have to fight again, then I'll fight somebody good. But it takes all the incentive away from these guys giving fights that I actually want to see. Alexander Wilson says Sky is running all of the DAZN shows on their networks, and they're paying and running pay-per-views off the show. I believe that fighters are taking a cut from the UK pay-per-view. Maybe. That's a way they can negotiate it. But, who's going to get the bulk of that? If it's a pay-per-view, and Canelo's going to get the bulk of that. Golden Boy is going to get the bulk of that. Because Golden Boy is gonna have that in their contract that if they put Canelo on pay-per-view in the UK, Canelo's gonna get a chunk of that, man. The biggest chunk of it. But it's not gonna be like they would get if they were fighting on HBO pay-per-view against Canelo, where they get 30%, where somebody could get 30% of that. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. I don't see how these big paychecks. That type of incentive for Canelo is for Canelo to make good fights. Because you see what he just got. He's getting $33 million to fight Rocky Fielding. He's getting as much money for fighting Rocky Fielding as he got fighting Gennady Golovkin. He's probably getting more money for fighting Rocky Fielding than he got for fighting Floyd Mayweather. It's like definitely got more money for fighting Rocky Fielding than he was getting for fighting Isralandi Lara or Austin Trout or Shane Mosley or the other guys that he fought, Miguel Cotto. You know what I mean? I'm just, but see, that's what they want to do. You know what I mean? 31.818 million per fight for Canelo. Wow, I think it's a little more than that. But let me go. Let me do the math real quick. I thought that came out to 33, but like I said, man, my math is freaking terrible. So 365 million, right? God dog, divided by 11. 33.1 million. That's 33 million a fight. 33 million a fight. Not 31.8, 33 million. Because it's 365 million divided by 11. And that's 33 million. He's getting $33 million a fight. It's crazy. There's no incentive for you to make it's no incentive for you to fight. There's no incentive for you to really fight that, man. Oh, DAZN ain't going. KQKC Boxing, man. Shout out. They're not gonna. DAZN's not gonna go belly up. What DAZN is doing is they're buying content. They're buying content and they want subscribers. They're not going. Yeah. They're. Oh, no worries. MP4 vids. Yeah, they're not going. They're not gonna go belly up. They're not going to go belly up because those cats. I mean, they're in Canada. I don't think that they're going to go belly up. Those cats. It's not like they're running they're not trying to get a return on investment from boxing. What they're trying to do is trying to get a foothold into the United States. They can't compete on anything else in the United States, any major sport in the United States, because all the rights are bought up. But I will tell you somebody that probably should be concerned in the UK, because this is an okie doke that I think could be coming in about 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised if Matchroom Boxing left Sky in 2 years. I would not be surprised at all if they left Sky Sports, because Sky Sports right now they're out of Great Britain, or they're out of the UK, but they can't really compete in the UK because all the marketing rights are taken up there. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to eventually try to get into it. And if they try to get into the UK where they're from, they're going to try to get into it through boxing, which is a popular sport. So if they decide they're going to set their eyes on the UK, they're going to already have that relationship with Matchroom Boxing, and fighters are already fighting on Matchroom Boxing and being televised. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Eddie Hearn or Matchroom Boxing didn't try to get slick and double cross on them cats and go with DAZN in the UK. Because if they're willing to pay that much money and not get pay-per-view, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah, see, number 4, I could see get a fight with Canelo. Willie Monroe, I could see getting a fight with Canelo. Quigley, I could see getting a fight with Canelo. Lemieux, I can see getting a fight with Canelo. Charlo, no. Gennady Golovkin probably is not going to get a fight with Canelo because they got to pay that dude all kind of dough. But then maybe they would be, because they just have to pay a ton of money to Gennady Golovkin. And that might be a good move for them. If they're going to, but God dog, what they're going to do, give $50 million for that fight? You know, but hey, man, if they're pouring money into it in a way in which they think that they're going to get like a return on the investment through a sale or through their market, so because they're making their money on the perceived value of the company by having their stocks go up in value or go down in value. So if they can get a stock boost and some people can make some money selling something, just let me know before they sign them, so I can buy some stock. So I can buy some stock. Canelo's making 165 weight class. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, but they allow him to get that, man. Matchroom and Sky have already announced a new 7-year TV deal earlier this year. DAZN doesn't show boxing in the UK. I'm saying. I know they don't show it in UK now. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to show it eventually. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised when that deal is up if they didn't try to do it, if they can get their foot in. Partnerships don't always wind up, working out. Shoot, Golden Boy Promotions and Floyd Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions had a great partnership until they didn't have a partnership. You know what I mean? The reason why DAZN isn't doing it on their own is because there's nothing to buy up there. In the United States, you can do it because there's no monopoly on boxing in the United States. There's really only one person out there, which is Sky. I know BT Sports is there and Box Nation is there, but anyway, it is what it is. That's just a thought, man. Massa said DAZN not winning U.S. rights to NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, or NHL anytime soon. Trust me. Oh, no, they never. No, that's not happening. That's absolutely positively not happening, dude. Lawrence Williams, you forgot WBA fake champ Brian Mensah, who lost to Machado, Robert Garcia, and lost to Martin Murray, Vanis Monterosen. That sounds like a good fight for Canelo under that deal, you know. But it is what it is, man. This is what we want, man. Right? People wind up turning that PBC model on his head, shot with all turning it on his head, criticize the tar out of the PBC, then turn around and did the same thing, man. But now I just don't see us getting any. I think 2019 is going to be even worse for fights than 2018 was. I don't see how, unless you have some miraculous, because within the PBC, you're having a hard time with fighters in the PBC fighting each other. You've got a hard time with people between the PBC and Top Rank fighting each other. You got problems with matchroom boxing. Matchroom boxing would rather try to steal a fighter than make a fight. So it's like, for example, the Gervonta Davis fight against Tevin Farmer, right? You hear this conversation going on about Tevin Farmer versus Gervonta Davis, and Eddie Hearn saying, why is Floyd Mayweather trying to prevent Gervonta Davis from making all this money? And why would he? Why would a promoter go into a co-promotional deal with you instead of just making a fight with you? If you want to make the fight with Tevin Farmer, then try to make the fight with Tevin Farmer. Gervonta Davis versus Tevin Farmer. Okay, we got the fight. Let the best man win. We split the ticket money, whatever. And really, it goes to Gervonta Davis because Tevin Farmer is not the star in that type of scenario. And he's going to get his ass blasted. But to the extent that you want to make that fight, make the fight. Have Tevin Farmer. But see, Tevin Farmer isn't even represented by Matchroom. Tevin Farmer is written by Ludabella. So it's like Tevin Farmer, who's represented by Ludabella, and Gervonta Davis, who's represented by Floyd Mayweather Jr. Eddie Hearn wants to make the fight. Yeah, Davis is going to kill. Man, Davis, that was such a terrible. It was such a mismatch with Tevin Farmer. And what is that dude, Tennyson, whatever his name was? Wow, no body shots whatsoever. Maybe can Rocky Fielding take a body shot? Because maybe that's what they expect to happen. Because there wasn't no reason in the world for Tevin Farmer to be knocking somebody out with body shots, man. Antonio Mendoza, what's good with you, man? Oh, it's all good, man. I appreciate you coming by, man. The Hall reports that if DAZN is willing to put enough money, they can buy their way into some of these major sports markets. A lot of games aren't on network television. I mean, maybe they could do like minor league baseball, minor league local American soccer, right? Maybe American soccer. There's maybe that league, but NFL, every game is televised in baseball. Every one of them. He ain't coming anywhere near baseball. Football. Every one of those are televised in a city by the local channel and the NFL network. So they're not going to get that. They ain't got enough money. There ain't enough money on the planet for them to get their hands on the NBA. That ain't happening. So NBA, football, NBA, the NFL, the NHL, not even maybe the NHL, but I don't even think the NHL. The fourth major sport in the U.S. is probably that. Maybe they can get NASCAR. I mean, if they went for NASCAR, hey, man, they might get some country bumpkins signed up for NASCAR. If they could televise some NASCAR races, maybe that could be an inroads for them. But I don't see them. I just don't see it. Not in a major sport, man. Yeah, someone is underestimating the major sport network deal already in place for you. Yeah, and here's the thing. Advertisers are on it. So the reason why DAZN ain't going to do that is it's not just the networks, it's the advertisers. There's so much advertising money in football and basketball and baseball that there ain't no way in the world that they're going to move the NBA to some network that doesn't have commercials. You know what I mean? I said they can't touch the NASCAR deal either. I wouldn't doubt that. Exactly, man. Those cats are, that's network deals, and that shit is, those are advertiser driven. I mean, you're not going to cut out, you got to cut out like Ford Motor. You got to cut out Ford. You got to cut out Coca-Cola. You got to cut out Budweiser, you know, or whatever the beer companies are that sell beer. Those are the ones that are paying, they're paying all the money, like the Super Bowl. Man, you got, you know, shit, how much money is it for a 30-second spot advertising for an NFL game or an NBA game during the finals? It's just, oh, Major League Soccer makes a lot of money too. Anywhere that you got majors, where you have major advertisers putting money behind it, the advertisers are going to be like, no. They might use that as some leverage, but they can't afford that shit. I mean, you talking, what are they going to do? Sign a $500 billion deal? Hey, NBA, we'll give you we're going to give you $1 trillion deal to televise all your now, if they could do that, yeah, they could get it. If they came up with $1 trillion to overcome the entire marketing budget of all the major U.S. corporations, State Farm, insurance, you know, they have to outbid State Farm insurance, and hell no, man, that shit ain't working. No, the reason you can do it in baseball is that the reason you do it in boxing is there's not major advertisers behind it. ESPN's got advertisers behind it now that ESPN is behind it. You know what I mean? ESPN is losing money because they overpaid the license fees in 2010. They're not going to renew some of their disease. Man, get out. Hey, dude, I'm telling you right fucking now, Alexander Wilson, you can stop it. Okay? You can stop it. They are not, if ESPN loses them, they're going to Fox. There's no way in this world that the NBA, the NFL, college football, college basketball is going to the zone. The hell no, because they got advertisers. What the problem with ESPN has lost some of their market share because other sports channels like Fox have bought it, because Fox, who is advertiser driven, have gotten in there. Right? So now that's what their issue is. The issue isn't they ain't gonna no. Hell, all they do is drive up the price, man. And here's the thing is too, even with this thing with Canelo, to me that reeks of desperation. That deal with Canelo Alvarez sounds like, you know what? We have got to sign somebody. Canelo Alvarez is open. We don't know. They're actively negotiating with people. We don't know when there's going to be another. We don't know when there's going to be another. When there's going to be another Canelo Alvarez or another big guy that we can sign. We've got to outbid and outspend all these guys on this fight to get this, because there ain't no way in the world anybody was paying $33 million for a Rocky Fielding fight. I mean, that to me really sounds to me like, look, they invested. They said that they were going to get these big names. They were going to get these guys. The guys that they wanted aren't signing. So now they got like come on, man, dude, they got a one fight deal for Clarissa Shields. How do you get a one fight deal for one of the top women fighters? How does that work? One fight? Are you not willing to invest money on her for multiple fights? Clarissa Shields is somebody in women's boxing. You should be able to get all the women fighters. I mean, you should be able to lock up women boxing in about 2 weeks, because ain't nobody paying them. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody paying them. Except for, I guess, Matchroom Boxing trying to really push Katie Taylor. But other than that, dude, they should be able to lock up women's boxing, because HBO wouldn't air it. Showtime barely airs it. ESPN airs a couple, but they've got Adams from the UK. They've got, what's that little chick? Adams, is that her name? You also have Katie Taylor. You should be able to get, they should be able to get all the women fighters. I just think it kind of seems like who really Facebook boxing. I don't even go through that because they asked me to do something extra to get access to it. I'm like, you want me to do what? Sign up for something? No. If it's Facebook, like I can just watch it on Facebook, I might watch it. I don't even go to Facebook, man. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, cats can, Yeah, Antonio Mendoza, the SEC has their own network. NCAA way too gangster for the zone. Oh hell no. Them cats making back end money, dog. Back end money on that. No, man, they're not going anywhere with that, man. But we'll see. I mean, honestly, like I said, man, I didn't do a video about it because I get sick of UK fans coming to my channel seriously, and I don't want to like moderate comments, but I don't want to give half these dudes conniptions when if I said, I think the Canelo Alvarez deal sounds like desperation because to give him $365 million, they gave him the same amount of money that he got for three of the biggest four fights. They've never gotten numbers like that off of fights like that didn't involve Gennady Golovkin, Julio Cesar Chavez, or Floyd Mayweather Jr. You know what I mean? Canelo's number is outside of those guys. It's not like that. You know what I mean? It's not like they signed Muhammad Ali, right? Or it's not like they signed Mike Tyson, right? Where Mike Tyson can fight Peter McNeely and a million people are going to watch him fight Peter McNeely. It's just, it is what it is, though. Michael Johnson, much love. He said, man, Carissa Shields just did a one-fight deal with DAZN. That's what I said, a one-fight deal. One-fight deal. Why is that? She's going to fight on DAZN once. That's what I'm saying. What is that? One fight on DAZN. Why isn't she signed for 3 fights? A 4-fight deal with DAZN. Why wouldn't she be over there? I think she had a DAZN offered her a fight because that one girl pulled out, right? Who was the girl? What's the name? She's supposed to have a big fight. And Carissa Shields. Who was the name of the girl? She's supposed to the big fight she was looking for. The person she was fighting against got pulled out of the fight. So she's taking the money to stay active, but she'll be back on Showtime since they are invested in Shields. Yeah, Hamer. There you go. Hamer dropped out of the fight, so she picked up some cash. It's not like she's going over there, to stay over there. But I'm telling you, man, it's interesting, man. We're gonna see what happens. The truth will be told during the strength of the competition schedule, right? So far, every time there's been a major move by DAZN, Showtime, ESPN, or Fox Sports has countered it with something that was big. Yeah, St. Cruz said $365 million is way too big for Canelo desperation. It is. That's massive. They massively overpaid for that. DAZN had 100. You don't mean million. You got to say billion, dude. You got to say billion. You mean a million? DAZN had 119.4 million revenue in 2017. Do you mean million or do you mean billion, Alexander? If you mean million, they're clearly not trying to. They're clearly trying to go off stock prices and trying to inflate their stock price or trying to grow. I won't say inflate, trying to grow their stock price because $119 million in revenue sucks. You got to mean billion. That's just a medium-sized company. That's not a big company. It's $1.4 million. So that sucks. What's big is that? What deal is that? There are trucking companies in Chicago that do that. 119 million in revenue? What's the big deal about that? Were you trying to tell me that they're a small business? Because 119 million in revenue is a small business. Oh man, Lockheed Martin got Lockheed. Yeah, so I'm saying if you're telling me they made 119.4 million in revenue, dude, Floyd Mayweather Jr. made more than that last year. They're investing money then. They're investing money in trying to build something. And they're not really caring about the revenue. If that's what they're doing, what's going on at Akabin, then they're not really trying to build the revenue. I mean, I would say the same thing to them as I say about Workplace said he thought he was saying something smart. Yeah, that's a shit. But here's the thing. If they got $119.4 million in revenue, and I'm telling you, that's a small business. There are CEOs in the United States of America that make that shit. You know what I mean? They make that money. Okay. That's not a large amount of revenue. And then when you're talking about revenue, what's your profit on it? You know, if you're making 30%, if you make 30% profit, then you're talking about a company that makes 35 million. It means they're not paying their executives very much. That's not a big company. I mean, it's something that a family-owned business would make a lot of money. You know, that's a good family-owned business. You know, I'll take that. I'll take that money. You know what I mean? But that's not a big company. But what they're doing is, if that's the case, what they're doing is they're publicly traded, or they're publicly traded. So they're not really trying. That's not their interest. Their interest is increasing the value of their assets, right? So if they have a good amount of subscribers, they own their contracts, have television rights for this company and that company, or this sport and that sport. And then they say, you know, somebody like Disney wants to buy them, then they can say they're more interested in their assets, not their revenue. So they'll say, okay, well, what are your assets? Oh, well, hey, man, I own, you know, like if you have a house, right? You say, okay, how much money do you make? Well, I make $50,000 a year. Oh, that's not a lot of money. You know, you ain't starving. That's not a lot of money, but you're not a wealthy man. But you're eating, you know what I mean? You should be able to eat on that and pay your rent on that. But what do you have? Oh, well, I've got, 30 of my grandmother's diamond rings. I've got, 5 antique cars that are all worth $100,000 a piece. I've got 200 pounds of gold in my basement, and my house is worth $500,000. How much money, how much are you worth? Oh, shit, I'm worth billions. I'm just only bring in $50,000 in cash a year, right? Very loose example, but, that's what they're interested in doing. But their revenue, that shit is like crazy. Yeah, but they're interested in getting subscribers, right? So if they have a bunch of subscribers, who's going to want their subscribers, right? That's what this whole content thing is about. Like, they're saying they want to buy content. If you hear these guys use the word content, the boxing match is the content. It is another service, or it's something else that they can watch that if they sell it to somebody else, that would bring them value. It's their content. So they say they have a contract with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is the best, fighter, the most popular fighter in the world, or the biggest money-making fighter in the world. And now we have all these subscribers that want to pay him. So if you want to buy, that increases my value, because we have all these subscribers and we're growing, right? So it could also be the fact that they're gaining more and more subscribers, so they have more and more momentum, which means that their stock price should go up because you see constant growth, right? Stock prices and value go. If you're growing, your price goes up, right? If you're declining, your price goes down. That's what I'm just saying. It's a game, man. But it's at the end of it. What's going on, Mark Wonderlick? At the end of it, man, it's not necessarily going to turn out that we get better fights. DAZN is not designed in a way, man. Stefano Martinez, man, much love in the super chat. The model that DAZN has, the model that ESPN, even that ESPN has, it's not designed to produce high quality fights. It's designed to create a lot of fights. They're even selling you on that idea. They're selling you on the idea. It's selling you on the idea that, look, man, we're going to give you 52 fights. We've got all these dates. We've got all these cards. We got to get fights. We got to fights. But we got a fight card, but what's on the fight card? Was the fight card worth paying for? Got to remember, Fannon, DAZN is a global company with many outlets of entertainment, not just boxing. They will make money on contracts with Champion League and other sports. Look, man, I don't think that they're interested in revenue. I think they're interested in stock price. I think they're interested in having the perception of growing, and as a result of growing and continuing to expand their brand, have investors on the stock market buy their stock. and increase their stock price. If you increase their stock price and you hold their stock price, the more it goes up, the more your stocks are worth. And then you trade them and you make money that way, right? You're not making money off of the revenue that you're being charged. You're making the money off the speculation on the stock market. That's at least that's, in my very amateur understanding of it, that's how it works. You saw Muhammad is the one. Fannon, it's right. It's not about the quality. It's about the quantity with the zone. Yeah. I mean, it's just. Hey, man, that's where the conversation's going, KQ, KC. And it is boxing, man. But, ask a question. Row 3, Schmith said, just like Fashion Nova, they pay influencers to promote the brand, which is what the Canelo deal seems like to me. Yeah, pretty much, man. No, they haven't had I haven't seen a competitive fight yet. Has there been a competitive fight on DAZN? I'm sure there has been, but somebody got to tell me what it is, man. I just don't know what it is. You can tell me what it is, but as of right now, I couldn't tell you what it was. But I would love to see it. I mean, if they look, man, I got my issues with what's his face, Eddie Hearn, right? And the first time that I heard about DAZN had something to do with Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn talked about how they were going to steal all the American fighters from Al Heyman and Showtime, and it pissed me off, man, because I think the dude's talking reckless, He's disrespecting American fighters. He's disrespecting Deontay Wilder, still disrespecting Deontay Wilder. And the dude came off like a prick. So DAZN associated themselves with a prick. And it's hard for me to get behind that, right? But if what they did was they really did produce a bunch of great fights on a consistent basis, dude, I would do like I did with DAZN. I would do like I did with ESPN Plus. I didn't like the concept of ESPN Plus at first. Because I don't like Bob Arum. And Top Rank align themselves with Bob Arum. And for me, that is tough. You know what I mean? It's tough. But hey, dude, when Top Rank put ESPN put Tiger Woods on that, put tennis matches on it, and put the archives for Top Rank, because Top Rank has a lot of great fights in their archives. No joke. They got a lot of great fights on their archives. Once they put that there, I was like, damn, I'll pay my whatever it is, $10 a month. I'll pay for that, or $5, whatever I'm paying for it. I'll buy that, because I want to see Tiger Woods. I want to see these other things. If DAZN did the same thing and gave me quality fights, I might be willing to put up with them. I might say, okay, well, I'll pay for it. But right now, I don't have to pay for it. I can see the fight on a stream. If I wanted a free trial, I'd do the free trial and get rid of the free trial and never give them money. You know what I mean? How many views are the DAZN fights pulling? I have no clue. I've heard cats like World Breaker Fighting talk about the numbers. I have no idea what their numbers are. I have no clue. Fannon, you are right. I think that all these networks. What is this? My man Lamar. I hope I pronounce Lemire Watkins. Fannon, you right. I think that with all these networks dishing out big money, they're looking for championship. They're looking for championship fights. And even the thing about championship fights in the United States is that doesn't mean shit, because there's so many. Excuse my language. There's so many fighters. There's so many fighters that have belts. I mean, there was championship belts on the line in that DAZN card this weekend that sucked. It was the IBF. It was the IBF, or not the IBF. It was the WBO 160-pound title. It was the IBF 130-pound title. It was the WBA, I think the WBA and the WBC women's lightweight title. Those were all champion. Those last 3 fights were all championship fights. But god dog, there's 19 weight divisions. There's 4 championship belts between the weight divisions. How many weight divisions are there? I said 19, but aren't there like 19? I think I could do it. Heavyweight, cruiserweight, light heavyweight. Then there's actually I should skip that and just add one. Yeah, so one cruiserweight, heavyweight, cruiserweight, 175, 168, 160, 154, 147, 140, 135, 130, 126, 122, 118, 116, 112, 108, right? So it's 16, and I'm probably missing a couple, right? And I might have got some at the end wrong. So was there 16 weight divisions? So 16 and major championship belts, 16 times 4 is 40 plus 64. Out of that, it's like 64 champions. How can you? It's like 15 weight divisions. So 15. So if there's 15 weight divisions, 15 times 4 is 40, is 60. Somebody says 17. I think that whatever it is, you get the point. There's over 60 potential champions in boxing just with the 4 major championships. Okay? Just with the WBA, the WBC, the WBO, and the IBF. That's over 60. You should be able to walk out your street, throw a rock, and hit a champion in the head. And I mean it. Go out of your house right now, go throw a rock, and it's going to land within 15 feet of a champion, of a boxing champion. How do you have a sport that got 60 champions? That shit is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know, it's comical to call yourself a champion, and there's only one guy in any one of those 17 weight classes that owns all of them. So, okay, it's 17 weight classes. 17 weight classes. I should be able to do this in my head, but I'm not going to. 17 times 4 is 68 weight. There's 68 champions, dude. There's like at least it can be as many as 68 champions. 68 champions. Crazy. What's going on, CB Sports TV? It's absolutely crazy. How does that work? It's just so many of them that it doesn't matter. Of course, they say they want championship fights. Hell no. The Hall Report, no, they shouldn't. Ring Magazine, the Ring Champ shouldn't be considered shit. And no offense to you, dude, but I just went to the Ring Magazine and I looked at what they're doing. Dude, they say that their number 1 and their number 2 fight makes the Ring Championship. No, it shouldn't. The Ring Championship shouldn't mean anything. The Ring Championship doesn't mean a thing because they said that they wanted to approximate the lineal championship. That's what it's supposed to be, but it's anything but. It's Dougie Fisher and Steve Kim and their buddies trying to tell you who's the champion. And no. Ring Magazine is crap. Ring Magazine's belt is crap. And they can kick rocks with the whole thing. And half of those champions are vacant. They got Lomachenko as the 135 pound ring belt because he beat Linares. Why does that make him the champion when Mikey Garcia was there? Why does that? Why would they rank Lomachenko, the number 2 be Lomachenko and Linares, when Mikey Garcia should have been at least the number 2 ranked lightweight? But they made Lomachenko the champion? Why? That's just their fucking opinion. It's not even these guys are actually fighting in the ring, man. That thing don't mean anything to me. You know, the Ring Magazine don't mean anything to me. And it's tough on the lineal champion meaning anything. Because these cats, they usurp the lineal championship. In the heavyweight division, the lineal championship isn't going to mean anything to me, really, until Deontay Wilder fights Tyson Fury. Because then you know perfectly well who the lineal champion is, because the whole question is gone. After December, we'll have a lineal champion in boxing. Either Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder is going to be the champion in boxing. The champion. And cats ain't going to like it. Deontay Wilder, but we've got 3 he's a 3 champion, not just a 1 champion. I don't care. He ain't either one of them dudes. Nobody's a champion in heavyweight right now. But for me, because you know who the lineal champion is, either one or two people. The lineal champion is either, oh my God, who's the lineal champion at 147? I do believe that they have that vacant. But the last time I checked, the lineal champion was Manny Pacquiao. But for some crazy reason, when Floyd Mayweather Jr. beat Manny Pacquiao, the lineal championship did not pass to Floyd Mayweather Jr. How in the world did they come up with this shit, man? How do you come up with this? Because it's supposed to be this thing, Cyberzone. What is it? Cyberzone. Let me see something. No, it should be Cyberzone. Yeah, the lineal champion was Mayweather. It was Manny Pacquiao. But when Manny Pacquiao lost to Floyd Mayweather Jr., he kept the lineal championship. How does that work? Floyd should be the lineal champion. He should be, but he's not. That's not how they list it. But let me go to it. I mean, since we asked the question, I don't know what my time is on this, but I'll roll for a while. I appreciate y'all coming since I got counter programmed by somebody. Because that's why I rocks with the LDBC. Cats are not impolite. Some of these dudes be on major ego shit. But anyway, let me do something real quick. Lineal welterweight champion. And this will show me to this. It's not even that cyber boxing zone, but hold on one second. Let me go to it. All right. We'll look at what it is. The welterweights. 147. Manny Pacquiao. Oh, I'm sorry. They gave it back to Manny Pacquiao after Floyd Mayweather Jr. retired. So it was Floyd Mayweather Jr., Sugar Shane Mosley, then Floyd Mayweather Jr., and from 2016 to present, it was Manny Pacquiao. And how did Manny Pacquiao win that lineal championship back in 2016? By beating, it must have been by fighting for the WBO belt against Timothy Bradley. But for some reason, they didn't give it to Keith Thurman. Because if Manny Pacquiao, they decided to give it they just decided to give it to him. There ain't no good there's no logical reason in the world for him to be the lineal champion, dude. But he is. It's crazy, man. He lost to Jeff Horn and didn't lose the lineal. Yeah, absolutely. He lost according to these dudes, he lost to Jeff Horn and he didn't lose the lineal belt. Exactly. He's still, according to Cyberzone Boxing, he's still which is supposed to be the quote unquote source for the lineal. He's still lineal. Absolutely bananas, dude. Manny got the biggest pass. Yeah, he did, but I like him though. By that logic, Bud should be the lineal. Yeah, but he shouldn't be the lineal because it should be. They should have to fight for it. If anything, this shit should be vacant. Because what's going on, Cash Alexander? So technically, it should have been Horn then Bud, but it should have never went to Manny Pacquiao in the first place. It should have never went to Manny Pacquiao in the first place. I should check to see if that thing was how did he even get the WBO? Isn't even a fucking major championship belt. It shouldn't even be considered. The WBC shouldn't even be allowed to have a lineal pass through the WBC. If anything, the person that I think should have been lineal was the cats that when Floyd retired got Floyd's belt, and two of them suckers was sitting over there with Keith Thurman. You know, one of them was with Manny Pacquiao. It should be vacant until somebody unifies them. Until somebody wins all four of those belts, that's who the lineal champion is. The lineal champion right now in 140 pounds should be vacant because Terrence Crawford was the lineal 140-pound champion. Go to the transnational rankings. I don't even do transnational rankings. If it's not a sanctioned body, dog, I don't even play with international ranking systems. But I'll check it out. Hey man, much love in the super chat. Eric Jenkins said, Fannon, I had a dream. In 2019, we get all the champions to fight in 147, 154, 160. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Shit. I'm trying to tell you. Oh, I don't listen to them. Them dudes are drunk. I'm trying to tell you, they are drunk. I know. But see, I don't need these dudes, man. This is a benefit of being a boxing fan that like, you know, that has common sense. At least I think I have common sense. I can look it up for myself. And I can have a reasoning for myself. Since we're going to be subjective on it, I have my own subjective reasoning. My reasoning for Deontay Wilder being the lineal champion is that he has the belt that Vitaly Klitschko got. And Vitaly Klitschko has the belt that Lennox Lewis had. So it should go with the belt. If it doesn't go, if a guy retires, it should go with the belt. In the case that and he doesn't get beat, in the case where Lennox Lewis retired, Lennox Lewis had the WBC belt when he retired, and a non-essential belt like the IBO. That's what he had when he retired. So that belt should have went to Vitaly, because Vitaly fought for the belt, the championship that the last lineal champion had, which was the WBC. And then he retired and didn't lose. When he retired, Bermain Severn fought Chris Areola, and Bermain Severn should have became the lineal champion. And after that, Deontay Wilder beat Bermain Severn. He should have been the lineal champion. It makes no sense to me whatsoever for the belt to pass to Vladimir Klitschko for beating Ruslan Shagayev because of some consensus among who? A consensus among who? That he was the quote-unquote best heavyweight. How do you say that he's the best heavyweight when it passed when Vitaly was still fighting? Clearly, Vitaly Klitschko was the number one or number two heavyweight in boxing. And in my opinion, he was the number one since he kept beating guys that knocked out Vladimir. I mean, shit. Vladimir got knocked out by Corey Sanders. He didn't avenge his loss to Corey Sanders. Vladimir didn't avenge his loss to Corey Sanders. Rest in peace. You know, he beat Vitaly did it. Like, Vitaly's the dude that winds up beating up the guys that Vladimir lost to. Shoot, did that happen to Samuel Peter? But Samuel Peter beat both. Man, I miss Samuel Peter. Sam Peter was a good fighter. I think Samuel Peter lost to all those guys, though. Anyway, what's going on, Ty Legacy? I mean, that's how I see it. But, you know, since we're going to be subjective about, since we all subjective in things, you know what I mean? D-Lo forfeit. I always felt that Vitaly was a lineal champ after Lennox. He should have been. And it makes no sense for Vladimir Klitschko to have been the lineal champion. It makes no sense. And people keep explaining it to me over and over again like I don't understand. I know what happened when he beat Ruslan Shagayev. Ruslan Shagayev was not the best heavyweight in the world. He wasn't close to it. And the IBF, I could see if he made it. I could see if they gave it to him after he beat Chris Bird. You know, like he beat Chris Bird for the IBF belt, right? So maybe if he beat Chris Bird, you could say, yeah, all right, he beat Chris Bird for the IBF. He had the IBF and the WBA. Okay, it passed to him. You know what I mean? But God, dog, Ruslan Shagayev 4 years later, when Vitaly's still fighting, that makes no sense to me. For now, we got to get rid of regular titles and silver and interim titles. Honestly, man, I think the only way to get rid of those titles are to get rid of all of the sanctioning bodies. And the only way to do that is to have an international body of boxing, because a lot of this shit will happen outside the United States. But since America is is pretty much the monetary hub of boxing, if U.S. regulated it more carefully, it was like, nah, we got this. What was that thing? It was like the It's an agency that's over the commission, the commissioning state bodies, right? I can't remember what it is, but it's like it's a federal commission, appointed federal commission that oversees the state athletic commissions. And the state athletic commissions are the ones that actually sanction the fights in the United States. If they nationalized the sanction of the fights, then and you had one body, then you couldn't jump from state to state and you could have some standard thing. But that's not the way our Constitution works, because the states have the rights to govern things that are not specifically granted to it by the U.S. Constitution. And since the U.S. Constitution doesn't talk about boxing matches, that's going to be reserved for the states to determine. And as long as you have the states doing it, you got 50 different ways to go about it, and you're not going to get any unanimity to it. You know what I mean? Anyway, it is what it is, man. It says that Fury vacated the lineal championship. Man, who said that? That's what I'm saying. They jumped on that shit. He didn't vacate that shit. He didn't vacate any belts. They retired. Tyson Fury did not vacate any belts. All the belts that he had, all the championships that he had belt were, he might have vacated one, but a couple of them were stripped. I'd have to look back in that. But here's the thing. You're not even supposed to be able to vacate a lineal championship. You either retire or you get beat. You're not even supposed to be able to vacate it. It's what you are the champ until you retire or somebody beats you. You're not supposed to be able to vacate it. Like, I don't feel like being a lineal champion right now. I know I was the man to beat the man, but I vacate that. No, it's just there's only two ways you should be able to lose a lineal championship. You either lose or you retire. And by retire, I mean retire. Like you do not fight, you don't fight anymore. Not, on Monday said I don't feel like fighting anymore, I retire. And then 2 days later you say, I'm negotiating for a fight. Oh, well, you said you retired, so you're not lineal anymore. I'm getting it to my guy. I say, how can you? Yeah, exactly. How do you vacate a lineal championship? You lose or you retire. Yeah, I know that's what it says. It says a lot of shit. I know that. They say a lot of shit. HBO said that Gennady Golovkin had 20 title defenses for major championship belts, although he only had 9. It's like my count says 9. Their count says 22. How did they get that far? Right? They got that far by counting the WBA regular belt. And so if Emmanuel Char or Murata, if Murata is not a middleweight champion, then Gennady Golovkin did not do it 20 times. And I'm so glad that he didn't win that, or 22. It's a joke. I mean, you can go to BoxRec. We know who the major championships are. We know who they are, right? You know what I mean? We know who's the WBA welterweight, middleweight champion right now. We know the answer to that question. The answer to that question is Canelo Alvarez. It's not a doubt, right? It's Canelo Alvarez. Who is the WBA regular champion? Let me go to an easy way to do this because it's just so much faster. And if there's a difference in the WBA, excuse me. Oh, they don't show it. But on this one. So I guess I do have to go to the fight one. Sorry to whistle in your ear, but world title, current world champions. Man, what is the fight news? Fight news, right? Sorry about that, man. I keep going to the wrong spreadsheet. Sorry for killing the conversation, but all right. So boxing rankings here. They'll probably have the champion right on this. Some of this shit gets dated sometimes, but all right. So at 160 pounds, Murata is the champion, right? So is Murata the 160? Is he the welterweight champion? I mean, the middleweight champion, or is it Canelo or Saul Alvarez? Right? clearly Murata is not the champion. But if you go and look at Gennady Golovkin's record, you will, or is it Rod Bryant? Did Rod Bryant beat him? Rob Bryant. Okay, so Rob Bryant is it. So is Rob Bryant, is he the yeah, I didn't see that fight. Thank you. So is Rob Bryant the middleweight champion? Is he the defending middleweight champion of the world? Has his championship reign began? If he defends that 20 times, will 23 times and never fights for the WBA super belt, will he beat Bernard Hopkins' record? You know what I mean? Will he? No, he will not. But somehow, although Felix Sturm was the middleweight champion, Gennady Golovkin defended his belt 22 times. It's ludicrous, man. But that's what I'm saying. They'll say anything, man. Cats will say anything, which is why you got to go and look at it for yourself and make up your own mind about what you think, and then come up with an argument to support whatever it is that you think, whatever it is that you believe. Because that's all it is until these dudes get in the ring. If these cats ain't getting in the ring, then it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, Tito didn't do it. Oh, Murata was fooling his casual Japanese fans that he was a champ. And that's what happened with Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin went to start fighting on HBO, and HBO was airing his fights. And because they were airing his fights and they weren't airing Felix Sturm's fights, or whoever had the WBA super at the time, they were calling Gennady Golovkin the champion. And they were marketing him on HBO Championship Sports as the middleweight champion when he was not the middleweight champion. They were lying and they were misleading fight fans. So when he became the WBA super champion, they just kept the count going and never corrected it. It's ridiculous. Oh, we're going for this record. Yeah, that record, please. They use it as a marketing ploy to try to make an argument like this is one of the greatest fighters ever. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's false advertising. Most of these championship belts are false advertising. They're all false advertising because you're telling me that this is the best guy in the division. He's the champion. But what they're saying is, oh, he's the WBC champion. He's the champion of WBC sanctioned fighters. This is the champion of IBF sanctioned fighters. This is the champion of WBO sanctioned fighters. This is basically like saying this is all natural lemonade, right? This is all natural lemonade. Oh, what do you mean that it's just lemon? It's just lemon and water and raw unprocessed cane sugar? Is that what you're saying? No, it's got corn syrup. It's got all kind of shit in there that it's got 30, kind of genetically modified sweeteners and stuff in it. But when we say natural, we mean our company. Our company is called All Natural, right? It's All Natural Lemonade, kind of like it's Fannon's Lemonade. But the name just happens to be All Natural. It's making you believe, if you don't think about it, that it means that it is completely from nature, untouched by or unmanipulated by man, which is what is just fucking ridiculous, dude. Oh, Marlon Sims said, love your videos, but I have to shout out my guy Rob Grant on his win, and I'm going to be the next Minnesota champ. That's what's up. Hey, I don't got any issue with Rob Grant. I'm just saying. He ain't started his run at Bernard Hopkins. Now, I hope that he does so. Do it. He said, how I like my weed, all natural. Hey, man, be careful. Don't buy this shit off the street because that shit is not all natural. Them cats spraying all kind of nonsense on that stuff. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So that's why the MMA is winning. They only got one champion. That's why every fight is the best against the best, and they should do that, man. So that play on word is a mother, Fannon. Yes, sir, it is. It absolutely is. And I've been having cats more often. See, I like to some of you haters are listening. I'm going to talk to you for dislikers before I jump off this stream, man. Thank you to everybody that came to the channel. I've been listening to you in my videos because I told y'all I ain't buying what people. I'm listening to what people say exactly. So I've had people try to catch up to trying to catch me on the things that I say exactly. Right? Here's my thing. Don't try that with me because I'm going to make my point and I'm going to stick to my point. And you're not going to make me say anything different to you than what I'm trying to say to you. I'm not going to dig into a hole and start debating you about what I said, what you say I said on a video that happened 3 months ago, or some misstatement on what you, or some not misstatement, or it could be a misstatement on a video that I made because I do them live. I don't have a script, right? I'm not going to debate you on that. If you're going to talk to me about what I think, talk to me about what I think because the source is right here. If you're ever going to ask me what I think, I'm right here. I will tell you what I think. I don't have to listen to myself say something 2 times and go back and defend something that you say I said. Stop trying to be cute, dog. All I will do is answer your question, say my answer. In any comment, most comments that I respond to, you got a 2, maybe 3 response limit. If you go to 5, 6, 7, I'm not responding and I'm deleting because I'm not going to be here for you to waste my whole damn day. There's a video there. I already talked for 10 minutes and 3 responses. You guys you don't get more than 15 minutes of time in my life now. You know what I'm saying? You're not paying me. Okay. If you want me to respond to dumbass questions, super chat them. I'll respond. If it's too stupid, I'll respond and block you. You know what I mean? I got no problems, but it is what it is, man. Oh man, it's all good though. So what's up, man? Look, man, I appreciate everybody coming to the chat today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'll put him in the hot seat. Nah, man, I don't steal people's stuff. Oh yeah, please super chat all your. Hey, you want to hate on me? Super chat is the way to go, dog. Preferably the yellow though. What's going on, Richard Diaz? Preferably the yellow. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna blue color me, you're gonna blue color stupid comment. Come on, man, it ain't cool. You know what I mean? Make it worth my while, man. Make it worth my while, dog, and I'll roll with you, man. You know what I mean? And if you're not insulting, I'll talk to you all day, man. And I appreciate Alexander Wilson. He supports the channel, man. We've been arguing for like 4 or 5 days straight. You know what I mean? But he supports because I'm using this money to support children, man. So it ain't going to a poor cause, man. You know what I mean? It ain't going to a poor cause. But look, man, he said I hate him on via, exactly. Hate on me via super chat or Venmo. You know what I mean? But Venmo's not going to get read out like that. You know what I mean? It's all good. All right, Woo Daddy, man. Take care. Hey, man, Layla D. Hey, I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And with that, I'm out. Peace.